दृश्यम 2 साल की चौथी फिल्म है जो मैंने देखी है और अब तक की सबसे बेस्ट पिछली 3 फिल्म्स थी द मार्क्समैन, द लिटिल थिंग्स और मास्टर. And even though the rating will be quite similar to Master, I still feel Drishyam is a superior product. But not wasting any more time, let's get into it. I like the stock. क्या बोल रहा हूँ? I like the film, and that's the main thing, you know. Can I recommend it? Of course. Have you watched Drishyam? Yes, you will need to watch this film if you want to watch the second part, otherwise you're not going to enjoy it. So do watch that film if you haven't, and if you have already watched it and loved it, then you're not going to be disappointed. So I think the makers have pulled it off yet again. 7-8 saal ka gap hai, but if a film is well made, doesn't matter, even after 10 years the sequel can do really well. Look at Bad Boys last year, that came out I don't know, after 20 years or something. But look, I think Drishyam, the rating पहले दे देता हूँ 3.5 out of 5 और I was contemplating कि 3.5 या 4, इसमें से मुझे थोड़ी confusion थी, लेकिन अल्टीमेटली 3.5 पर सेटल हुआ और इसके 2 कारण हैं. कारण नंबर 1, फर्स्ट हाफ ड्रैग्स अ लॉट, काफ़ी बोरिंग है, मतलब फर्स्ट 1 आवर फिल्म बिल्कुल ही हिलती नहीं है. एंड यू नो यू रियली हैव टू गेट इनटू द सेकंड हाफ वेयर थिंग्स रियली पिक अप. तो उसके लिए सम पॉइंट्स हैव टू बी डिडक्टेड. और सेकंड जो मेन रीज़न ये है वो है कि इट काइंड ऑफ डज बिकम प्रेडिक्टेबल. मतलब तुम्हें पता है कि द सेकंड हाफ ऑफ द फिल्म में क्या होने वाला है, एंडिंग कैसे होने वाली है. यू जस्ट डोंट नो हाउ, सो यू जस्ट क्यूरियस कि हाउ डू दे पुल इट ऑफ. And you know, even though it is a little bit predictable, I guess it is entertaining, and that's the main thing, you know. So for those 2 reasons, deducting half a point. Nonetheless, a fantastic film. Throughout the film I was just thinking, Mohanlal 60 साल का हो गया है और मतलब no wrinkles, you know, clean face, even though he had a beard. How do these actors do it these days? I mean, how do they look so fresh? I mean, what are they doing? And his looks really natural, you know. In fact, Mohanlal for the last 20 years just kind of looks the same, doesn't he? So you know, really good genes. That just kept me puzzling actually, more than the story of the film. But not taking away anything, थोड़ी disturbing भी थी, you know, when you start looking at when you really start connecting with the film, that what can a man do to protect his family, and especially around where you know you've done something and you know you have gotten away with it. How do you live with the fear of getting caught, and how do you manage, you know, your family who has all been through that fear? It's quite troubling, you know. And yes, sometimes I think the essence of the film for me is that you can get away with something, but if you are a genuine and good person, it's going to follow you throughout the rest of your life, and it's very important to have closure. Hopefully, I think towards the end they had that closure, so I'm quite happy for how the film shaped out to be. I just felt, as I mentioned earlier, if the speed was a little bit better and the first half could have been a bit more crisp. It's just it just took too long for things to get to where they did. Or first half में first film में ऐसा कुछ था नहीं, because suddenly you knew what the plot was right away. Whereas in this one, it dragged a fair bit. Nonetheless, you know, a fantastic film. Highly recommend it. It came straight to Amazon Prime. I wish it released in the theaters. I would have definitely paid money to watch it. और इस साल मतलब 2 साउथ इंडियन फिल्म्स देखी हैं मैंने. अभी बॉलीवुड की एक भी फिल्म नहीं देखी, क्योंकि रिलीज़ ही नहीं हो रही बड़ी फिल्में, और ऐसी कोई फिल्म जो you know देखने लायक हो करंटली. लेकिन let's see. Drishyam 2 will be the film to beat this year for me as far as Indian films are concerned, and hats off to Mohanlal once again to pull out a sequel 7 or 8 years later and do justice to the first part. It's absolutely fantastic. So I recommend, highly recommend to go and watch this film and enjoy it with you know, your family, friends, whoever it is that you enjoy their company with. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Good night.